What are your thoughts about the paradigm linked to traditional capitalism, that is, do the best you can for yourself and your own interest, and you will help society somehow?
Well, it's a narrow understanding of human beings, and it's a narrow reading of Adam Smith. And as you know, Adam Smith is often thought of as the father of modern market-based thinking, right? So the understanding of the market, his book, The Wealth of Nations, which was largely about individuals, as you said, pursuing their own self-interest and then creating businesses, etc. But he also wrote another book which was about the human need to care, the theory of moral sentiments. And the fact is, a human being is a human being, whether it's at business or at home. So you cannot separate out that this half goes to the office and this half stays at home. And so the human need to care was left out of the foundations of capitalism. And so we created businesses which were about purely self-interest, as defined narrowly in terms of making as much money as possible. And over time, that kind of became enshrined in the economists, their models of maximizing profit and so forth. And also to some extent in corporate law, although there's some ambiguity there in terms of what is the definition of fiduciary responsibility in the US, whether it is not short-term shareholder maximization. Some people would say it is long-term shareholder value maximization, which that only happens if you're taking care of your employees and your customers and everybody else. Typically in the long term, those things, those actions that you use to create short-term shareholder price increase doesn't work in the long term unless you're doing good things for people as well. But I think the fundamental disconnect there is that we don't understand human beings when we talk about business generally. People are driven not only by self-interest, yes, it's very important, but also by the need to care, and increasingly by a drive towards purpose. People want purpose in their life, right? More and more people now are at that level in their existence where they can actually think about purpose. For most of history, people could only think about survival. Purpose was survival, essentially. So now it's about those three things, and we have to build business on that platform, right? Of at least those three pillars. So I think that's the fundamental disconnect that we have. Human beings, as Muhammad Yunus has said, he's the founder of the Grameen Bank in Bangladesh, the creator of microlending, right? He said, we act in business as though money is the only game in town. There are other games in town, right? And having a positive impact on the lives of other human beings is maybe the biggest game, if you want to call it a game. So business can tap into that richer, deeper source of meaning and fulfillment alongside money, where money becomes a means to an end. It's not the end in itself, right? So money is not, as the Bible tells us, money is not the root of evil. It's the love of money that's the root of evil, right? When it just becomes about greed, and when we have people standing up and saying greed is good and selfishness is a virtue, and they're trying to defend capitalism, well, that is the worst thing you can say. First of all, it's not true. Greed and selfishness can never be virtues. Self-interest is okay, selfishness is not, right? Greed can never be thought of as a virtue. And when you say that, well, naturally then people start distrusting businesses, they start having a negative view, and they start thinking socialism might be a better thing. And we know that's going on in the US right now. More young people believe that socialism is a better system than free market capitalism. And that would be a terrible disaster if, in fact, this system itself were to go away. We cannot do without, the system is rooted in freedom and it creates extraordinary innovation and dynamism. But it has lost sight of the other side, which is decency. We need dynamism and decency at the same time. And that's where capitalism needs to evolve. Otherwise, capitalism is under danger. This could be an endangered species.